Welcome to the Genre Bender. Today, we break down the phenomenon of the Beatles. Over a single decade, they journeyed from simple love songs to profound studio experiments that reshaped the world. Their body of work is a chain of bold genre fractures, where every album became a new discovery. We will analyze 18 iconic compositions that formed the foundation of modern music. We'll show how the band shattered templates, redefined instrumental sounds, and built the future right inside the recording studio. Prepare to dive into the history of the most influential musical collective on the planet.
Are you ready to watch? Get comfortable. Like and subscribe. Let's go. Next song.
All my troubles seem so
Yesterday.
yesterday, suddenly.
The start of their journey was a striking blend of simplicity and depth. Even in their earliest tracks, there was a sense of potential that would later transform the group into the century's premier innovators. They didn't just sing, they changed the very structure of pop music.
No, she wouldn't say.
Paul McCartney created an anthem of melancholy entirely on his own. Using a string quartet in a pop ballad was a revolutionary step. Abandoning the standard beat group lineup for an acoustic guitar and a chamber sound was their first serious genre bend, showcasing the sophistication of their taste.
I'm not half the man I used to be.
This is an acoustic fracture. In this composition, the focus is on the contrast between the voice and the classical string accompaniment. A case of how a bold decision to step away from rock instrumentation led to a timeless classic, becoming the most covered song in music history.
I said something wrong, now I know.
Next song.
I need somebody help, not just
Help.
never needed anybody's help in any way.
The pressure of fame was becoming unbearable. The band sought an escape. This track became a cry for help disguised as a high-energy pop hit, a perfect example of how the Beatles mastered hiding personal drama behind a facade of external success.
In the hate, but now these days are gone, I'm not so.
John Lennon admitted this song was his real cry for help. The fast tempo and energetic delivery masked feelings of insecurity and stress. The Beatles bent the entertainment hit format, filling it with an honest confession that resonated with millions worldwide during that era.
Just anybody help, you know I need someone help.
This is a psychological bend. Here, the work with mood is clearly visible, where a complex, living drama hides behind a perfect stage image. A case of how artists used a popular form for deep personal expression that continues to echo in hearts decades later.
Self-assured, know that I just need your light. I've never.
Next song.
Ooh, I need your love, babe.
8 days a week.
Hold me, love me, hold me.
The early years were an era of unrestrained energy and endless touring. The band created hits at an incredible pace, proving every time that they felt the pulse of the era better than anyone else. Their music was a pure charge of positivity.
No, it's true. Hope you meet my love.
A catchy guitar riff and flawless harmonies make this track a model of the early beat sound. The group masterfully uses a call and response vocal form, creating a dynamic that makes the listener sing along from the first seconds. It's an example of perfection within the pop song framework.
Love me. I ain't got nothing but love, babe.
This is a rhythmic bend. Here, the group's drive for ideal sonic density is clearly heard. A case of mastery in creating a composition that is instantly memorable. The Beatles proved that even within simple pop limits, one could reach heights that sound relevant decades later.
Babe, just like I need you. Oh, oh, oh.
Next song. From Me to You.
With love from me to you. I got everything.
Connecting with fans was a cornerstone of their ideology. The band often wrote tracks that sounded like a direct address to the listener. This created a unique bond, turning every record into a personal message that was perceived as something intimate and close.
Got arms that long to hold you and keep you by
a characteristic transition from verse to chorus using harmonic seams. The group emphasizes the idea of energy exchange between the stage and the audience. The simplicity of the lyrics is compensated for by complex vocal harmonies that became their trademark, a perfectly balanced hit. This is a communicative bend. The song is literally filled with air and optimism, a case of how the Beatles built a trusting relationship with their audience. This composition was a vital step in creating the global influence that swept the world in the early 60s.
Just call on me and I'll send it along with love.
Next song,
Love me do. You know
Love Me Do.
Love me do. Whoa, love me do.
It all began small with two voices, a harmonica, and a belief in success. This track was the starting point, the herald of the British invasion. In it, you can hear that very magic that the entire globe would eventually fall in love with.
Whoa, love me do.
A minimalist arrangement, an emphasis on the harmonica, and very simple lyrics. It was this simplicity that made the track powerful. The band took a risk with this delivery, but it became their hallmark honesty and spontaneity, in contrast to the variety show music of the time.
love me do.
This is the initial bend. Every note here is important, creating the atmosphere of an intimate performance. A case of the importance of staying true to oneself from day one. The song paved the way for their entire body of work, becoming a symbol of success rooted in sincerity.
I'll always be true. So please.
If you liked the video, give it a like and don't forget to subscribe to the Genre Bender channel.
Next song, I Feel Fine.
You know she said so. I'm in love with her.
The band didn't stand still, exploring new recording possibilities. This track is an example of their interest in effects that would soon become their primary tool for creating music that sounded like something from another world.
The famous guitar feedback at the beginning is one of the first examples of using such a studio technique intentionally. The group consciously took a risk, turning noise into an element of the song's fabric. This was a vital bend-in approach. Sound was no longer just an accompaniment to vocals. This is a studio bend, a case of how the Beatles began mastering technical possibilities, turning accidental sounds into innovations. This track anticipated their future sonic experiments that forever changed the rules for the entire music industry.
Baby said she's mine, you know, she tells me all the time, you know.
Next song,
Got a good reason.
Day Tripper.
She was a day tripper.
In the mid-60s, the band began exploring the boundaries of rhythm. This track is proof of their desire to move beyond standard structures, adding unexpected pauses, tempo shifts, and complex riffs that hook the listener's attention.
An iconic guitar riff that became a benchmark. The group masterfully works with dynamics, moving from an aggressive chorus to calm verses. This is an example of how the Beatles bent the standard single form, adding elements that would later be called psychedelic rock.
Wait to get you. It took me so long.
This is a rhythmic bend. The song possesses incredible internal energy and drive. A case of mastery in creating compositions with a powerful chord. The track became one of the best examples of how to be an innovator while remaining incredibly popular.
She only played one night stand.
Next song,
Eleanor Rigby picks up the rice in the church where
Eleanor Rigby.
who is it for? All alone.
Change required bold decisions. When the band abandoned their standard lineup in favor of dramatic storytelling, they created something that changed the concept of a rock song. The story of two lonely people told to the sound of a string quartet.
His hands as he walks from the grave. was saved.
Paul McCartney created a piece where music and lyrics formed an inseparable whole. Using strings without the support of guitars or drums was a shock to the industry. It was a deep exploration of loneliness, marking a major step in their creative evolution.
People, where do they all come from?
This is a structural bend. The somber atmosphere and the loneliness of the characters are highlighted here. The case of how music becomes drama. The Beatles proved that rock musicians were capable of creating complex academic forms while remaining folk heroes.
Saved all the lonely people, where do they all...
Next song,
I think I'm gonna be sad.
Ticket to Ride.
She's got a ticket to ride.
Life at the top of success wasn't always easy. This track is about a sense of alienation and the desire to break free from the endless touring cycle. The band continues to use an energetic sound to convey complex, often melancholic states.
Sure think twice, sure to do right by me.
A heavy guitar riff combined with an unusual chorus structure. The song sounds like a premonition of change. The Beatles began experimenting with mood, moving away from a cheerful beat toward more pensive themes, which became the primary vector of their future work.
She's got a ticket to ride.
This is a mood bend. The transition from optimism to an internal surge is felt in every chord. A case of how the band's internal state influenced their music. The track was a harbinger of their mature period, showing a readiness to find new forms.
She's got a ticket to
Next song, From Me to You.
with love from me to you. I got everything that
In their arsenal, they always had the ability to write things that sounded simple but possessed a magnetic magic. This is an example of the skill to turn an idea into a hit where something new and interesting can be found every time.
A look at the ability to create a perfect dialogue between the artist and the audience. Harmonic shifts and the harmonica create a sunny weave. The song was a major step in conquering the charts, securing the group's status as future legends.
you want, like a heart that's oh so true.
This is a harmonic band. Here, the mastery of working with form is evident. A case of the importance of maintaining simplicity alongside high professionalism. This recording is a model of how the Beatles could make music understandable on any level of perception.
Just call on me and I'll send it along with love from me.
Next song,
She loves you, yeah.
She Loves You.
Well, I saw her yesterday. The tune she sang.
Their success was so rapid it seemed impossible. This track embodied the era when fans' screams drowned out the instruments. A sound that made stadiums go mad, becoming a symbol of the band's chaotic, vibrant time.
It's up to you. I think it's only fair.
The famous chorus became an anthem for an entire generation. Drive, dense harmonies, and direct. Calling lyrics, this was a sound that couldn't be stopped. The Beatles turned a pop song into a cultural phenomenon, making the world dance by their rules.
She said you heard her so.
This is a culturological band. Here, the energy of the fans merges with the music. A case of how a song becomes something larger than art. The track was the culmination of early success, showing how the group masterfully managed the mass consciousness.
You'll be glad. She loves you, yeah.
Next song, Twist and Shout. In concert, the band could turn any piece into a wildfire. Their ability to reimagine a standard and make it Beatles was astounding. This track is an example of the frantic energy that transformed into a wild and powerful act on stage.
Recorded in a single day when John had nearly lost his voice. The result is one of the most powerful vocal performances in rock. The band takes a classic and bends it to their energy, turning it into an anthem of rock and roll ecstasy. This is an energetic bend. Fierce delivery and a lack of compromise are on full display. A case of how sincerity is the most important thing for rock. The track proved that the Beatles were a phenomenal live band, capable of anything for the audience's emotion.
If you like the video, give it a like and don't forget to subscribe to the Genre Bender channel.
Next song.
My love don't give me presents.
She's a Woman.
Forever and forever, my love don't give me presents.
Even in lesser-known tracks, the group demonstrated a level of mastery unavailable to others. This track is an example of working with R&B, adding unique harmonies, and creating a sound that was both traditional and new.
Loving, don't ask me why.
An amazing groove, rare for their early work. The group shows mastery over rhythm, using unusual playing techniques. This is an example of musical erudition and a desire to try new things, even during heavy touring.
I know that she's no peasant.
This is a rhythmic bend. Confident and deep forms resonate here. A case of how the Beatles constantly evolved as musicians. The track was further confirmation of their incredible talent and depth of musical interests.
She's a woman who understands. She's a woman who loves her.
Next song.
Say no, you say stop.
Hello, Goodbye.
You say goodbye, and I say hello.
By the late 60s, the band was creating music that sounded like an adventure. This track is an example of irony and musicality, drawing the listener into a dimension where words lose their usual meaning, giving way to mood.
A bright, absurd song built on contradictions. The group plays with expectations, creating a sense of kind irony. This is an example of mastery in creating pop hits where mood is more important than meaning, a true Beatles masterpiece.
I say hi, you say love.
This is a playful bend. Here, a world of contrasts is presented through vibrant sounds. A case of how to turn a simple play on words into a hit. The Beatles showed they weren't afraid to be funny, creating music that lifts everyone's spirits.
Hello, hello. I don't know why
Next song.
let's all get up and dance to a song that wants
Your Mother Should Know.
to know. Your mother should know.
The group had a weakness for old music, turning it into a special kind of art. This track is a tribute to the music hall, showing that the band's roots went deeper than rock. They used old-school elements to create music as nostalgia.
A pleasant music hall mood brought into the 60s. The group plays with form, creating a cozy sound. This is an example of the ability to work with any material, turning it into something full of charm and irony that sounds incredibly stylish. This is a nostalgic bend. Here, the past meets the present. A case of the importance of roots for inspiration. The Beatles proved that music is a bridge across time, connecting different eras in a single sonic space.
Next song.
I read the news today. Oh,
A Day in the Life.
the news was rather sad.
The pinnacle of studio creativity, a composition that became the embodiment of an era. A track that merged two visions and created something impossible. A song that stands as a testament to what the group was capable of at the zenith of their unity.
Turned away, but I
Two parts joined by an orchestral swell create a sense of unreality. John's deep lyrics and Paul's everyday story merged into a monumental canvas that changed the concept of what could be recorded on vinyl. An absolute masterpiece.
well, I just had to laugh.
This is an epic bend. Here, the scale staggers the imagination. A case of how art is the ability to connect the incompatible. The Beatles created music that sounds like time itself, remaining a benchmark for innovators.
The English army had just one.
Next song,
Let me take you down, 'cause I'm gone.
Strawberry Fields Forever.
And nothing to get hung about.
This track is the embodiment of a psychedelic dream. The use of new sonic possibilities and a fresh approach to recording made the song a milestone in their career. It's a sound that transforms reality into something surreal, deep, and personal.
My tree, I mean it must be high all up.
John Lennon creates a space where time stops. Unusual effects and meditative vocals with lyrics full of memories create an atmosphere that induces a trance. An example of how music becomes a door to the subconscious.
Strawberry fields forever.
This is a psychedelic fracture. Here, reality becomes a dream world. A case of how the studio can be a place for magic. The Beatles created a track that sounds like a message from another dimension, changing the listener's consciousness.
Down, 'cause I'm going to Strawberry.
Next song, Revolution.
Tell me that it's evolution.
We conclude our journey with a track that was an answer to the chaos of the late 60s. This is the sound of change, struggle, and the search for truth. The band sounds powerful, showing that their music always reflected everything happening around them in society.
We all do what we can.
Heavy guitar sounds and straightforward lyrics questioning the paths of global development. The Beatles showed their stance, turning rock into an instrument of influence. It is a powerful, uncompromising track that became an anthem for an era of change. This is a social bend. Here, the energy of movement reaches its maximum. A case of rock music being a way to express the most important thoughts. The Beatles proved that their voice held immense significance, remaining an example of art's impact on the world.
But if you want money for people with minds that day.
The story of the Beatles is a journey from Liverpool Drive to heights that changed the essence of music. They bent genre boundaries, achieving the impossible, and left a legacy that continues to live on. On the Genre Bender, we analyzed this phenomenon through their greatest tracks. Thank you for walking this path with us. Subscribe, like, and tell us which song from this four was a revelation for you. See you in the next episodes, where we continue to explore the music that changes us.
If you liked the video, give it a like and don't forget to subscribe to the Genre Bender channel.